Hello, everybody. This is Scott Hudspeth with Agent Mastermind. So excited to be here with you. Honored to be here. Have an amazing class planned for you. In fact, we got the next 3 weeks planned out and some really good stuff coming. So I'm excited to share that with you. But today is probably one of John. I gotta admit, man, Facebook is by far one of the biggest, probably one of our as a company, the Marketing Animals and Agent Mastermind and all that stuff. It's probably one of our biggest success as far as using Facebook. So I know you're going to share that from a real estate perspective on how to use and generate leads using Facebook and landing pages. Is that correct?
Yes, that's exactly what we're going to talk about.
Awesome, man. Hey, and I sincerely appreciate your time, and I'm honored to have you on the call, and really appreciate you giving, helping us and showing agents how to do this from a real estate perspective. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for having me on. It's fun to share, and I love learning and trying to figure this stuff out and giving information to other people. Hopefully it can help them too.
Right on, right on. There we go. So, what do you got for us, man?
All right. Well, what I wanted to do today was talk about how to generate real estate leads with Facebook.
Okay.
But the Facebook ads themselves are not worth anything unless you can, of course, get contact information out of people, right? You need to convert them somehow. So that's the whole second part of what we're going to talk about. Uh-oh, what happened in my slides? 1 second.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Wait.
There we go. Oops. I see that. I see that one.
Are we back?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Okay. Sorry, I'm not sure what happened there, but okay. So my name is John Ray. I'm a realtor in Chicago suburbs. So one thing that I wanted to make very clear is that I'm not a full-time trainer. This is stuff that I do every single day in my business. So it's not scary. It's actually the things that I'm doing to propel my business forward and get real leads. And there's a lot that we're going to go through here today. So don't feel worried about taking a whole bunch of notes. You can find a lot of the notes that we're talking about on my website, agentuprising.com/Facebook2. And people can get a lot of the stuff that we're going to talk about there. So don't worry about taking a whole bunch of notes.
Okay.
What I wanted to talk about was really what you can do with Facebook ads, and then we're going to apply an example, and then understand the impact of landing pages, what they are, how they work, and how you can use these two things to convert the leads with these amazing tools. And there's a ton that we're going to go through. I've got 48 slides of jam-packed full of solid info, so we'll start away right now.
Sounds
The biggest question I get is, does Facebook work? And if so, how do you do it? And me personally, I'm not a huge person on Facebook from a social media perspective. I don't post things all the time. I've got a very, very small group of friends. There's like 30 people in my little circle. So I'm not super active social media-wise, but the advertising side of things has really been an amazing part of my business. And here's why. Here's why I love these Facebook ads. What I hate doing, what sucks to me, is cold calling and pay-per-click fees and dealing with FISBOs who think they know more than you and door knocking and all these things that are difficult and they take a long time to put in place. But Facebook ads, you get instant feedback, you get better results, it's less cost, more targeted, more options, and there's no waiting. Within a matter of hours, you can put an ad up and 3 or 4 or 5 hours later have a decent feel of if it's working for you or not. So with all this in mind, that's why I truly feel that advertising on Facebook is really a game changer, and I know that that's a very cliche term, but there really is nothing more powerful. Just like you said, Scott, that's been a big benefit for your business, and it's definitely been one for mine as well. And a lot of what we're talking about here is brand new information, only weeks old, and really it's just the biggest bang for your buck ever, if you ask me. No, one thing with all this in mind, it's not magic. I wish I could tell you that it's a magic pill, and you plant a seed, and tomorrow you've got 20,000 leads, and you're making, multiple 6 figures. It's not the way that it works. There is.
Man, if it was, everybody would be doing it, right? You
right.
wouldn't be doing this for free if that was the case, right?
Right, exactly. So I don't want to mislead people. You know, there is work that goes in, there is effort, there is a learning curve, but it's totally worth it. 95% of everything that we're going over today, I did not know 12 months ago. I learned it all mostly by trial and error, and if I can do it, anyone else on this call can do it too. So don't be intimidated if you're not quite sure of what we're talking about at some point of this presentation, because it can be learned, and like I said, it's well worth it to learn it. So getting into Facebook, the first rule that I learned is that you got to pay to play. So the new face of Facebook is that they want you to succeed, but they don't want you to succeed for free. You know, they have many different ways to make money, and advertising is the way that they really go about that. And they'll let you show your posts and stuff to people for free, like on your business page, you know, to some people, but generally that ends up being maybe roughly 5 to 10% of everyone that quote-unquote likes your page. So that's not very many. But when you pay to advertise, you can display that information to way more people than even like your page. So there is a benefit, and although it does cost something, it's definitely well worth it. So let's dive a little bit more into the parts of Facebook. If you're not quite sure about how this advertising goes or what it looks like, let's talk about that really quickly. On the left side of the screen, we've got our typical social posts, you know, you see in your news feed. These are the pictures of cats with funny hats on and, you know, different things that you're sharing with your friends. And on the right side of the screen, we see advertising. And the way that we know that something is an advertisement is because it has the word sponsored in it. And you can see in that right-hand picture where the pink arrow is, it says sponsored. That's how you know that something is an ad. And so the free part that used to be great for us as businesses because we could display all this stuff to all these people that like their page, that has diminishing business use for us because not that many people actually see it anymore. So the advertising component of things is on the way up. Facebook is getting smarter by the day, literally, and it's really the future for us as businesses because it allows us to do way more than what we could do with the free side of things. Now, I talked before about the advertising in the news feed, but you also see advertising on the right-hand side. So if you're on your desktop and you see these ads on the right-hand side, you can also put ads there. And if you see on all three of these images, these are tailored directly to me. I am a male, so that's why I'm seeing ads for Dollar Shave Club. You know, I'm a target audience for them. But also on the right-hand side, you can see an ad for a virtual assistant from, I think that's My Outdesk, and that's like a virtual real estate service. And then at the bottom, you see an advertisement for automation for sales and marketing. So they know that I'm into sales and marketing. But how do they know all that? Well, Facebook knows everything about you, and it learns about you by what you tell it. So you say, well, this is my name, and this is the high school I went to, and this is the football team that I like, and so on and so forth. But it also learns by what it gathers about you. So anytime you type things in Facebook and the things that you like, the things that you share, it keeps a record of that, and it gets a feel for who you are. So if you've ever read the book 1984 and you're all scared about Big Brother, that's like child's play compared to what Facebook is now today, because they know all about you, and it's super, super creepy. But on the business side of things, it's actually pretty nice because it allows us to do some really, really amazing things. So let's talk about some of those amazing things. The best way that I can describe it, I think, is by comparing it to something that we as real estate agents are all familiar with, which is direct mail. So let's say that you're farming a neighborhood of 2,000 people and you send postcards out. Let's compare that strategy to what we can do with Facebook ads. So for example, let's say that you want to mail out 2,000 postcards to a specific neighborhood, and you go to your local post office and you say, Mr. Mailman, I would like you to deliver these 2,000 postcards to this subdivision and I want them to be delivered on Friday. Can you do that? And Mr. Mailman says, yeah, that's fine. Might be Thursday, might be Saturday, but probably be Friday. And yeah, that's fine. And then you say, okay, Mr. Mailman, I needed to go to specifically to this subdivision, and even more specifically, these 2,000 homes. Can you do that? Mailman says, yes, of course. You're giving us the addresses, so we can definitely do that. So you up your game now, and you say, okay, Mr. Mailman, I have another request. Now, when you deliver that mail, I want to guarantee that the first person that sees that postcard is the female of the household. And it might be okay if the male sees it or the kids see it, but I need to guarantee that the first person who sees it is the female, because I don't want to get it thrown away before she can. And then it's like, I'm not sure what you're talking about here. But then you up the game even more and you say, Mr. Mailman, I need this for that person to see it only between 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. on weeknights, because I know that that's when this woman is probably relaxing for the evening. She's had dinner with the family. She's put the kids to bed. Maybe she's curling up with a glass of wine in front of the TV. She's in a relaxed mood. I want her to see my advertisement at the very best time of day. And for me, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. is the best time of day. Can you do that? And by now, the mailman is giving you this very bewildered look. He's saying, obviously, I can't do that. No, that's impossible. Or you say, I have more requests of you, Mr. Mailman. I want to guarantee that it's only the female of the household that sees this, and the female has to be between 35 and 55 years of age. She has to be married, no single people. She has to have an income of $75,000 to $175,000. She has to be a homeowner, no rentals. She has to have a specific type of education, so I want her to go only to an Ivy League school or only University of Illinois and University of Wisconsin, and she has to be a lawyer, doctor, or engineer. Can you do all that? And Mr. Mailman is like, no, I can't do that. That doesn't make any sense. But you still up your game. You say, Mr. Mailman, I need this person also to have very specific interests. She has to be into running, and she needs to like dogs and sports cars. Oh, and by the way, I want to make sure that she has also looked at sites like Zillow or Trulia, because if she has, then I know that she's already got some inclination towards maybe buying or selling a house. And because she has all these interests, which match mine, when I go and meet her, we have things in common, quote unquote, magically. But it's not really magic because I've very specifically targeted these people. By now, Mr. Mailman is very mad at you. He's screaming at you, saying, no, of course, this is nonsense. I cannot do this. It's craziness. And you say, Mr. Mailman, just two more things, please, just two more things. After all this, I know I've made a lot of requests, but there's just two more things. I want you to tell me who read my mail. After 24 hours, I want you to send me a list, and I want you to tell me of all those 2,000 people who actually read my mail and who threw it away. Because all the people that actually read it, I'm going to start sending them more mail. And all the people that threw it away, I'm not going to send them mail anymore. Oh, and Mr. Mailman, I know I'm asking you a ton of things that are really, really hard, but I'm willing to pay you for it. I know that sending this direct mail out might cost me $1,000 to 2,000 people if I did it your way, but I'm still willing to pay you. For all this that I've requested, I will gladly pay you $25 for all of this. Can we do that? And of course, the mailman says, no, that's ridiculous. That's nonsense. And then you say, but Mr. Mailman, you can do all this and more with Facebook ads.
Crazy, isn't it? The cost of, you know what's funny about that, and not to interrupt you, but we had some, I guess some people are hearing, John, I want to click the mute all button really quick just to make sure everybody's muted, and then I want to unmute you, so just give me 1 second, okay?
Muted.
Oops. Hey, John, oh boy. John? Can you hit your audio button? There we go. Johnny, there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
All right, buddy. Thank you. Yeah, I can hear you now. Good. Thank you. Yeah, you didn't hit your audio button, and that might have been the issue. So, everybody, I'm going to switch it back to you now, and we can continue from there. I apologize. We were getting some background noise, and I have no idea how.
Okay.
But I'm giving it back to you now. So sorry about that. Just go ahead and show my screen again, and we'll be back in the same spot. So sorry about that, guys.
All right. Are we back here?
Hit that. Yep. Yep. You're good now. Okay, cool. And I wasn't hearing it, but a bunch of people were saying we had some background noise, so I muted everybody, so we should be good now. All right, cool. All right.
Okay.
So sorry about that, man. So you left off with we can do all this with Facebook ads, and that's kind of where you're going to leave. That's kind of what you're going to show us now how you do that.
Yeah. So did that analogy make sense, do you think, about the comparison of what we do with this compared to kind of a more traditional direct mail technique and the power between each?
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. There's no comparison between the both. I mean, unless you just flat out want to waste the money and send it to 2,000, of your neighbors. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. Right. All right. So let's talk a little bit more about actually how we do all this. There are 3 essential ways that you can do Facebook ads, and to really go through all this stuff would take way more time than we have. So what I've done is I've narrowed it down into just kind of a high-level overview of the first 2 things. The first one is called the Boost Post button, and a lot of people, when you type in a post on Facebook, you can press this little button and you say how much you want to spend. I'm just going to leave it here and say I would recommend that you don't do that, for a variety of reasons, which we're not going to get into, but just skip that. Second part is what's called the Ad Manager. And on your Facebook page, only on your desktop, you can't do this on your phone. If you go to the upper right-hand side of the screen, there's a little downward arrow. If you click that, there should be a button that says Create Ads. And in your Ads Manager, it's kind of an easy way to get a few ads rolling. I'm not going to go into that because a better way to do it is what's called Power Editor. And on the page that I mentioned before, agentuprising.com/Facebook2, there's a video of how to use the Power Editor because it's way too much to just do in these static slides here. But I wanted to say that the Boost Post and the Ads Manager, those are kind of like the gateway drugs. Like it's kind of an easy way to get into this, but I would just recommend just going right to the heroin, going right to the Power Editor, getting in and learning this stuff, because this is really where all the magic happens. And I'm going to show you what we can do with this, a real-world application of how I was doing something that's super simple. It takes about 15 minutes to do to create an open house ad. Okay. So once you get into the Power Editor, again, there's a lot of things going on, but I'm going to try and keep it here super simple. We just want to create an advertisement to show an open house that we're promoting. So let's say you've got an open house on Saturday at noon. This is how you can put an ad in front of a very specific group of people that could be very targeted buyers for that exact type of home. Okay? So at the very bottom of the screen, we see that what we're trying to do, it says campaign objective, we're trying to get clicks to come to our website. So on my website, I've got these homes. But if you don't have your own website, another easy way to do it is just simply to send people to your listing on Realtor.com. You know, that'll have your contact info, the house info, the open house info. So if you don't have your own
That's
website,
a great idea, man.
That's a way to do
that's
it.
a great idea. Great idea there. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I never
That's
thought
great.
about that. If you don't have, if you don't have a website, just send them directly to a link that's already created for you by your listing.
Yeah, super easy and it's free.
Great.
Next thing is we're getting a little bit more particular about what we want this ad to be all about. So at the bottom half of the screen, we see that for this open house ad, I was spending a total of $15. $15, that's it. You know, relatively cheap. That's way cheaper than what you're probably spending to buy cookies and pop and bring all the food to your open house. $15. And so this open house was going to take place on Saturday at noon. So what I did was I started the ad the Friday before, so 22 hours before at 1 o'clock, and I ended the ad Saturday at 11. So literally right up until the open house was going to start, I ran that ad just for 22 hours. And what I did was the next step after you say how much you want to spend is you can divide up who you want to see this advertisement. So specifically you can say I want females, I want males, I want people in a specific age range, a whole bunch of types of demographics, okay? And here's what my ad looked like. So this is my Facebook business page. It has to be a business page, not a personal page. And I had a picture that you can make really easily, either just like in a Word document and take a screenshot of it. That's exactly how I do these ads. They're super simple. I just put it in a Word document, and then I use a little screen capture tool, and I outline the part that I want to take a picture of, and then there's my photo. Or you can use tools like Canva.com, spelled C-A-N-V-A, .com, and they've got templates for Facebook ads. So there's a lot of really easy ways to do it for free. And what I did in this ad was I just talked about the open house. So I said the address and the time. And in this particular example, if they clicked on it, they would come to my own personal website. It's got my face, my phone number, all that kind of thing. And so
Dave is asking, can you be, and actually you can, it says, can you be narrowed to within a certain distance of the open house? Like maybe, and you can do a zip code and a 10-mile radius, right, if you want to, or can you even get narrower than that?
That is the perfect question, because that is exactly what this slide is all about. Right
Okay.
where we see this pink arrow, what I've done is I've targeted it to a potential audience of 6,800 people that could potentially see that ad, okay? And that 6,800 people, these are people that live in a particular town and anyone within a 10-mile radius of that town, okay?
Mm.
It's also people aged 35 to 65 years of age. They're all female. And by the way, here's a little tip that'll save you a ton of money. In all my trial and error, I find over and over and over again that advertising to the female audience is much, much more effective than males. I don't know why the males never click on it. I guess there's a number of reasons why we could figure that out, but just save your money and target mostly females, because that's mostly who's going to click on this type of a thing.
Doesn't matter. That's what works, right?
Yeah, that's just what works. These are married people. They have an income of at least $100,000. They currently live in a single-family home, and they're all homeowners. And I chose these things because this house had a list price of $700,000. So I know that I don't want someone that's coming from a rental to buy a $700,000 house. I mean, that could happen, but it's unlikely. So a $700,000 buyer is a very specific type of person. So I've targeted my demographics towards that type of person. Now you could change this all around. You could target it towards people that are renters. You could target it towards different price points of people that are able to afford different types of things or different lifestyles. Maybe it's a golf course community versus a downtown condo loft or something. You know, you can target this in an amazing number of ways. If you look at the bottom left of this screen, there's a little drop-down menu under the title where it says More Demographics. And here's just a small sampling of things that you can do. You can look up people by relationship status, their education, where they work, the type of work, their financial qualifications, the type of home they live in. I mean, there's a bazillion things. It's craziness, all the things that you can target. So the point being is that you can get very, very specific on what you're doing. Because you can be
Jimmy, thanks for being here. You can still focus on income, right? You can still nail the income part.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Definitely. All right, so the next question is, after I do all this, what type of results did I get? All right, we want to know, is this really worth my time? At the top of the screen, we see that pink arrow that shows the 22 hours that I ran this, so a very small amount of time. In that 22 hours, I had 118 people come to my website. Of the
22 hours, 118 people, okay. All right.
118 people.
All right.
The ad was actually shown to 1,351 people.
Okay.
And so if you divide that up, it cost me 13 cents to get someone to come to my website, see this open house, see my name, see my phone number, all these things. Now, if you ask me, 15 bucks to get 118 people to have some interest in an open house is pretty good. And
that's amazing. I mean, I mean, 118. You'll never get 118. I don't know. Maybe, I guess I shouldn't say never, but to have 118 people look at your link to an open, because they physically clicked on the link to see what you were showing.
Yes, they clicked on that link and specifically came to my website, and not just my website, but the page that I had specifically set up for this particular open house.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Now, if you're a real estate agent out there listening to this, you're probably saying, okay, yeah, but how many people actually came to the open house? And that's a very good question. And I'm not shy to tell you that as far as I could tell, no one came specifically because of this ad. Maybe they didn't tell me or didn't tell me when I asked them, but that is completely okay with me. And here's exactly why. There's a thing that you can do with Facebook called custom audiences. And this little feature essentially allows you to start creating an invisible list of everyone that came to your website, or it also allows you to do some other things, which we'll get into in a moment. But in this example,
this is, like John, guys, this is the coolest thing on planet Earth right here. Now, not only would I take everybody that comes to your open house, I would take every one of your past clients, I would take every one of your current clients, I would take everybody that could possibly be a client and do what John's going to show you right now, because this is by far the coolest thing that you can do on planet Earth, to stay in front of your clients for little or no money per month without sending them postcards, without calling them, I mean, I still pick up the phone and call them every 3 months, but this by far will help them to remember who you are and what you do for a living by what he's going to show you right now. It is by far the most powerful thing that anybody's ever done.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you said that, because this is the key. This is the tipping point. Everything that we've talked about up till now is just like proactive effort. I'm putting money out there to do something. But this is a tipping point that puts you over the edge where you start compounding your interest, so to speak. This is where you start building more impact with the same effort. Okay?
Marketing equity right here. Marketing equity right here.
Yeah. Great way to say it, yeah. So these people here, this is that previous slide we just looked at, 118 people came to my website. I did not ask them to fill out a form. I did not ask them to supply their contact information. I didn't do any of that. I just wanted to get them to this particular page. Because with this custom audience thing, I start building a list. So although Facebook doesn't tell me who those 118 people were, it knows. And it says, hey, John, the next time you want to advertise something, we're not going to tell you who they are, but we'll let you advertise to them. So, for example, the next time I have an open house for this house, or I have an open house for something that's a similar type of house with a similar type of buyer, I can put out an ad that goes specifically and only to these 118 people that says, hey, here's another open house. Because I already know that they have some interest in what I offered them before. And
well,
that's kind of where
here's a great question coming. Sorry to cut you off, John, but this is a great question I want to answer. Mark Jones says, what is the difference between a boost and the ad? And the cool part about it, it's one and the same. And the cool part about this is you can boost a Facebook post on your business page to a custom audience. So say you close on a file and you want to do a testimonial, and you have a video testimonial, or you have congratulations to the Smith family on their new home, you want to boost that post, to put it in front of all your past clients, friends, family, coworkers. You can absolutely positively build that custom audience and throw that in front of them anytime you want. In fact, you can run it Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday morning, Sunday afternoon, whenever, all the time, every time. And this thing just keeps building and building and building, because every time you meet somebody that is a potential client or has friends, family, coworkers, you would want to put them in that custom audience to remind them of who you are and what you do for a living. This is killer. I hope that makes sense, Mark.
Yeah, that's a great way to look at it, and that kind of leads right into it's a great segue to this next slide, because another thing, just like you were saying, Scott, if you upload your list of past clients, you can put an advertisement right in front of them, like, hey, thanks for using me as your agent. Keep me in mind for referrals. When you can put that in front of hundreds of people for literally a few bucks, I mean, that's way cheaper than direct mail or stuff like that.
Right.
And if you do like Zillow or Trulia, or you get all these leads from these lead services that don't go anywhere because they're mostly junk, which I've done, which I'm not doing anymore. But anyway, side note, you can take all those emails of leads that came in and upload them to Facebook and say, okay, well, I already know these people are interested in buying a house. They already contacted me about something. Start sending them ads. You can make audiences of buyers, of sellers. There's a whole ton of things that you can do, ton of things. It's so cool, just like you said, Scott. It's really amazing.
Yeah, Tracy brings up another great question here. She says, will Facebook let you advertise, and then we'll save the questions to the end, but I really love this question. So will Facebook let you advertise to people who actually registered on a dedicated landing page, not website, and did not leave an email address? Cool. There's a couple ways you can do it. One is by email, and the email has to match the email that they signed up for Facebook for. The second way is a phone number. A lot of times people put their phone number in there, but if you have their phone number, you can upload a phone number in there as long as it matches the profile of somebody in Facebook. It will automatically create a custom audience for that one as well.
Yeah, and an important side note is that we're talking about uploading phone numbers and emails and all these things, and which you absolutely can. Right. Don't expect it to be 100%. If you upload 100 names or 100 phone numbers, you won't get all 100 because, like you said, Scott, Facebook has to match that up with their records. So if someone gives you a different email than what they use as their Facebook login, it's not going to match. But you should probably get somewhere in the range of maybe 60 to 80% on average of those to match up, which is still really high.
Sure.
So in summary of this section about Facebook, and then we're going to get into the landing page stuff, here's just some easy ideas that you can do for seller-type ads. The open house is basically like endless cheap farming. Anyone that clicks on that ad, they obviously have some inclination towards buying or selling. If you do market snapshots, you can advertise that. Home price valuations, if you have downloads of white papers or stuff like that. Basically any other type of offer of value. And this shows sellers that you're very internet savvy too. Then on the buyer side, this is a great way to advertise towards first-time home buyers. So for example, in Facebook, you can target people that just recently got engaged. They probably have an interest in buying a home in the next year if they just got engaged. Or maybe changing homes within the next 2 years if they're going to have maybe a growing family or something like that. If you offer access to the MLS, or again, maybe market snapshots, or if you're a lender, a mortgage person, maybe you're offering the latest rate, something like that. Of all this stuff, both buyer and seller side, my favorite approach is offering educational webinars, exactly like we're doing right now. This is an educational webinar, and that's what I do in my business. I offer people webinars on how to buy, how to sell, and this year I'm magnifying that, I'm amplifying that, And I'm going to start doing even subsets of those. So not only how to sell, but also how to negotiate, how to stage, how to do this, that, and the other regarding selling and buying. And that really is a great way to show people that you know what you're talking about, that you're trustworthy, and it just builds confidence in people after they see you offering webinar after webinar after webinar. And hopefully you get some of these people on the webinar to actually hear your voice, get a sense of your personality, and get to know, like, and trust you. Okay? So here's an example of an ad that I do for webinars. So again, this is on my Facebook business page. I target a specific geographic area. And this is a seller-related webinar. So my webinar is, hey, how to sell your Naperville home in 5 secret steps. You know, you can give it whatever title you want. That's the gist of everything. Anytime or any place they click on this ad, they're going to go somewhere that I direct them. But they're not going to go just anywhere. So what actually happens after they click? Well, they go to a landing page. If you've never heard of a landing page, that's okay. It's kind of a marketing term. But a landing page is just simply a specialized page with one very specific focus that motivates the viewer to take a very specific action. So this is that ad again. So let's just say that you're on Facebook either on your desktop in that newsfeed, or if you're looking on your mobile device, you'll see this ad either way. And you're like, oh, I live in Naperville. I'm looking to sell my house. I'm going to click on this and find out what that's all about. I do not send them to the home page of my website. It doesn't do you any good. What happens is they come to a very specific page that talks only about what they were just looking at. So we can see that.
Dude, like so here's the dude. That looks amazing. Like this is a landing page that you actually send people to.
Yes.
And you're going to show us how you created this, because this is awesome.
Yeah. That's the next couple of slides. I'm going
Cool.
to show you exactly like the concept
Cool, man.
of what this is.
Cool. Very cool.
So let me back up a half step and kind of give you an analogy of why this is so important. Let's say that you're potentially in the market to buy a car, and you're considering sports cars, and you're looking at Mustangs and Camaros and, you know, Dodge Challengers and all this stuff. Let's say that you see an ad that says, you know, from Ron Westfall Chevrolet, and the ad says, get the pros and cons of buying a Camaro versus a Mustang. You click on that ad, you would be kind of disappointed if that ad took you to the home page of this car dealership that didn't tell you anything, right? You saw this ad about pros and cons of Mustangs to Camaros, so you want to know what are the pros and cons of Mustangs to the Camaros. So they should take you to a page that talks only and specifically about that. And that's the same exact thing here in real estate. You had an ad that you caught someone's attention with something very specific that they had an interest in. And on this page, I don't want to talk about anything else except for what they just expressed interest in. So step one, you see that there's no navigation. This screenshot is exactly the page. That's exactly what it looks like. There's no navigation at the top. There's no navigation anywhere on the side or the bottom, so they can't go anywhere. Once they come here, they have to click out or somehow get out of this page, make it very difficult for them to escape, okay? All right? Second thing, there's a very specific headline. The ad was 5 secret steps to sell your Naperville home. And in this landing page, I actually added a few more things. For the most
laser focus, man. Like, yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah.
here's the cool part about this. You're only running ads to people in Naperville. So if they click on the ad, it's for the people that live in Naperville to sell their home. And he's going, claim your spot. I mean, dude, this is brilliant. This is so brilliant.
Yeah, it's super laser focused. I used to do webinars for like, hey, here's how to sell your house. And I would just blast them everywhere. But I found that if you had something very specific, like the town name or the city name or the subdivision name or whatever, the more specific you get, the higher conversion you start getting. So very specific headline.
Is it, I know you're gonna share this, but it's leanpages.com, like what you use.
Yep. Yeah. That'll be in another slide.
Okay, cool.
Talk about that.
Cool. All right. So sorry about that. I know somebody was asking.
Yeah, no problem. And I want them to take action. Notice that the only button on this entire page is right there, square in the middle in the top, says claim my spot now. I want them to take action. They click on that, and what happens is something super simple. There's a little pop-up box that says, enter your email and your name, and you'll be registered for the webinar. And that's it. They don't have to do anything else. It's really, really simple. And then here there are some details. And, I'm going to talk about what people are learning. There's actually a few more things, a little bit further down on the page. But you get the gist of it here. And this little particular software that I use, or product I should say, has a lot of cool little features, one of which is a little countdown timer. It says time left until the webinar starts. And before the webinar, this is actually counting down by the second. So it's kind of like a little motivational thing. It says to people, hey, I have a limited amount of time to get in on this before it disappears. So it's kind of a little psychological thing. So Scott, your next question is, well, how do I make one? And this one here that you saw is a software called Lead Pages. And you can see more examples of all the lead pages that I've created on that link that I showed you here on this screen here. But you can also do it on your own website. So if you have your own website, talk to your developer, ask them if they can make you a specialized page. Or if you use WordPress, which is a website platform, if you have WordPress, you know what I'm talking about. There's usually in the theme built in a landing page template, so you can do all this for free. The Lead Pages service that I use is $250, or I think $280 a year. So it's really cheap, I think. It's well worth it, because if you start sending people to some really cluttered page, you're just not going to get the conversion. Like, for example, this page right here, I can do the same exact page, but a different layout and different text and a couple different pictures. I will get double the conversion rate with one version of the page compared to the other version of the page. Same exact page, just different pictures and different text. Same layout. But because of the small differences, you get higher conversion. So using a service like this, I think, is really important, because it really helps you get people to provide their contact info in a much more effective fashion. Let's see here. Any questions about that?
Yeah, so Paul is asking, how often do you do, like, for one, do you do the webinars yourself, like how to, like the last slide where you said how to learn, 5 things to learn when selling your home in Naperville? Do you record it, or is there already a webinar done for you, or how does that work? And how often do you do them, Paul is asking?
I do them myself, and
okay.
You can do them for free by using Google Hangouts. Basically, Google Hangouts is YouTube. That's an automatic call recorder for you, or I should say automatic web video recorder.
Okay.
And you can create a link and just send people the link, be like, hey, I'm doing this webinar this day and time. Click on this YouTube link. So it's pretty easy that way.
Got it.
You can do it as recordings. Like, you could literally just do a recording yourself, put it on YouTube, and then just embed it in a page. I mean, you could do something as simple as that. I like doing them live, because sometimes people will ask questions just like this, and you can show, or you can give people the answers and show that you're actually a real live human being. I've had things go wrong during the webinar, and it actually, I think, is kind of, it just shows you're a real person. It shows that you're not totally some slickster, huckster, Things go wrong sometimes. It just makes you look real and authentic. Yeah, so that's kind of a brief answer there.
So Lori asked a great question, and before I answer, I'm going to let you answer. So it says, how far in advance, maybe I should answer first, and you can give your opinion, but how far in advance do you do the ad for the webinar? Now, here's the cool thing about what he's showing today, and I want everybody to get this mindset. The mindset behind what John is doing is he's staying in front of his past client, current clients, future clients, because he's kind of farming an area on Facebook, but he's doing it very selectively. Income, just got married, engaged, different things that he's targeting, so that when people go, hey, I'm thinking about selling, I'm thinking about buying, it's triggering that, and he's staying in front of them. Not only that, he's staying in front of his custom audience of people that already know, like, and trust him. So it's not really about when you do the ad or when you do the webinar. it's about staying in front of them, but also generating leads when they come in. You might have to, like, you might put this up for 24 hours and have to turn it off, because what you don't just want to have them opt into this landing page and never call them. You would want to call them and qualify them, and hey, I just see you opted into the, just want to make sure you got the link to the class. Also, hey, you guys thinking about buying or selling? Which way you guys going? 6 months, 12 months down the road, kind of, start that dialogue that you guys are so good at when the leads come in, and that's where you're going to generate your most business. And just having them, opt in and show up to a webinar is not going to generate leads for you. It's you starting that conversation, picking up the phone, and now asking them questions that would qualify them as a good client or bad client, or just building a relationship with them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's right on the money. And I made that mistake initially, is I would do these ads, get people to sign up for the webinars, do the webinars, and then I would kind of let people go. Like, I would kind of email them, to follow up, but I didn't have a system in place. But the system I found is really important to start that relationship with a webinar, but then develop it with further emails, if you have a phone number, further calls. And that's also why I'm starting to do additional webinars of these more specific segments, because the buyer and seller are very general in nature. But once you've had people come on those, now I can start doing more specific ones and build that relationship, just like you said, Scott. You increase your expertise in their minds because you're talking about these very specific things, and you're furthering that relationship and that trust level so that they eventually come to you. I mean, you can keep following up with them, but I start having people come to me and be like, hey, I was on your webinar 2 weeks ago, and I just thought of a question. So they start coming to you after a little while, which is a very nice, very, very nice way to turn the tables, for sure.
Cool, absolutely, for sure. Cool.
We'll wrap this up here. I know there's a lot going on. There's a lot of wheels turning that I've talked about here, but here's just really the basic summary. Create some type of offer of value. You don't have to go all out and do these webinars, and don't let that intimidate you. You can do something super simple, try and get buyer leads or seller leads. Once you have that offer of value, whatever it is, drive traffic to that with these Facebook ads. Increase the conversion rate by using these optimized landing pages that have a very laser-like focus. And then once you get the contact info, make sure to deliver amazing value to these people. Make sure that once they get whatever you promised, that they're super happy with it. And they start to build that relationship with you. And that's about it. So I know we're about 45 minutes here, so thank you very much.
That's good,
so happy that
so,
you answered questions.
Yeah, so we'll run through a couple. So the software that he's using for the landing pages is called leadpages.net. I made a mistake, and it's leadpages.net. So that's an awesome software. I'm not sure the cost of how much that is. I know it's not very expensive, depending on how many I think you want to have. Is that maybe correct there? If you go to leadpages.net, there's features in Marketplace. There's a webinar that they actually put on that shows you. I would highly recommend watching that webinar. There's a video on the very landing page of the software that will probably answer a bunch of questions as well. So pretty cool software. What days and times tend to have the most attendance for your buyers and seller webinars? Have you tested that different times, or?
Yeah, I've tried all different times. I haven't really found a specific day and time for the webinar that's better or worse, but I have found that running the ads on particular days and times have worked better. So, for example, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. is definitely the best time to run the Facebook ads. You get way more clicks, way more engagement, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. And I have tried different times for the webinars, but like I said, I haven't really come up with a best time for that.
Okay, a better time, yeah. It's getting close to dinner time, afternoon. I think Saturday mornings would be good. That's when people are kind of playing around, drinking their coffee, stuff like that. Do you always, here's a question from Colby, do you always get directed to a landing page? Can you just get directed to an open house? Absolutely. You can go directly to the open house. Now, where he's going to a landing page, he's trying to get their information so he can make the phone call or can set up an email depending on what they put in the landing page. That's why he's doing it that way. But either way, absolutely positively works. If they click on the link, you're not necessarily going to know who clicked on the link, correct? It's just going to say you had 118 clicks, but it doesn't say who exactly clicked on it or any information about them.
Right. You don't know who it is, but Facebook does.
Facebook does, yeah, right, right. Kim asks, do you use lead pages for your landing page?
Yes, I
That's
use
what
that
you showed that
product.
you do, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, got that one, got that one. What service? Kirk is asking what service for webinars. Now he uses Google Hangouts. This is a free one. The one you're on now is called GoToWebinar, which we use, which is an awesome service as well. That does have a recording platform for it. So either one, I think I would just pick one if you're going to start doing the webinars. You don't necessarily have to do the webinars. Again, it's just to stay in front of people. It's a very inexpensive way to stay in front of your past clients, current clients. Send them to an open house. Send them to a new listing. Send them to maybe a maybe I could do a flower pot strategy on how to market your home or how to sell your home in 5 easy steps using the flower pot strategy, and then give you guys the recording to send people to. But the only thing is that you wouldn't have anything for them to opt into. That would be the only thing. So that's why a lead page is so powerful, because you do capture their information, which is really what you're looking for. How do you get email addresses of the people that saw our ads in Facebook so we can create a custom audience?
I'm sorry, what's the question?
So that would be through
email?
how do you get the email addresses? So that would be through the lead page. So when they click on your Facebook ad, they would actually put their information in to get the information or attend the webinar. That's why we're not saying go do webinars. We're not saying go do webinars. We're saying do something to stay in front of them using Facebook custom audience, the people that already know, like, and trust you. If you just do that, and if all you did was boost a post to a custom audience to your past clients to let them know, hey, I'm still in real estate, you're gonna get referrals from that, just because they're gonna see you, they're gonna see that you're helping other families in the community, and when somebody's talking about buying or selling, they're gonna refer you, and that's how the whole game works. Just staying in front of people. We answered that one. Looks like we're good, man. So maybe what we could do, John, is record actually how to take and I could do this myself, how to actually set up a custom Facebook audience, how to take the list, Excel spreadsheet, CSV, or maybe I don't think it's worth a whole class, but maybe it is. We could walk through putting the ad up, walking through kind of like you did. You can watch the PowerPoint, but actually how to, step by step, maybe it's a 5-minute video on how to take the list, Excel spreadsheet, and download, save it as CSV, upload it in there, and how it works. I could just do a 5-minute video and post it on the Agent Mastermind page. No problem.
Yeah, that's cool.
I've done it before, so yeah. Cool, man. I guess that's it. So, Johnny, man, I appreciate all you've done, all the time you put into this, and your success is awesome. Can't wait to see where you're at the end of the year. It's gonna be exciting.
Me too.
Oh, here's Dawn. Dawn, yeah, I know. Dawn has a great suggestion. It says Fiverr, Fiverr, will create pages for you. So go to Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com. Just Google landing pages, and I'm sure somebody will set one up for you for $5. That's a great way to do it. Great job, Don. What time's best to run ads? We did that. Okay, cool, man. If you guys are joining us for the first time, make sure you go to our private Facebook group. We got 13,000 plus and growing. It's at facebook.com/groups/agent mastermind. And I appreciate you, John. Appreciate everything you do. Look forward to hearing your success and sharing your success stories as they transpire. And thanks again, man.
All right, thank you. Have a great day.
All right, buddy. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you same time, same place. We're going to cover a little more on Facebook next week because it is so huge. So we'll see you same time, same place on Agent Mastermind. Everybody have a great day and be safe. Bye-bye.